Hello and welcome back here the Imperia 145 by Xcraft. I thought that I would do another video to demonstrate the aircraft and its capabilities and also some of the headaches you might experience, just like we did yesterday. Have the actual chart. It's not subscription based, so it's not Navigraph or anything like that, but the data is actually those that vendors like Navigraph as well as Jeppesen and Lufthansa Lido charts are based on. So it is the official charts that is for some of the other companies made in a more standardized layout, you can say. Okay, anyways, let's get this show on the road. So, first off, we need some power here to the aircraft. So that's what we are going to do. Yeah, now it's gonna be a bit annoyed here when we try to start it up. So, wrong click spot. Oops. Sometimes, yeah, it's just not that well, the click spots. At least in my cases here, as you have experienced yesterday as well as previously, that sometimes it seems that it doesn't recognize the correct click spot. Anyway, I'm not gonna knick-knack about that. We're just gonna do our thing here so that we can get the aircraft up and running here. Okay. Let's go to the initialization page here, and we already set cruise altitude at 12,000 feet. So let's go to this page here, departure, and we are going to select the runway, and it is going to be runway 22 right for departure, selecting a sit, and here we are going to look at the chart, and I'm using this website here where you actually can get the charts, and then you just find the local airport you are searching for, like here, Copenhagen, and then you got all the procedures here. You have sits for runway 22 right that I have opened here, both the 1 and 2. The first one here is where you actually have the map, and the second one is actually the main procedure, a small description of it. And we are going to fly to Aalborg via this route. So it is Golga, and if we look here, Golga, it's going to be Golga 1 Charlie, so that's what we are going to select. Golga 1 Charlie is down here, so we use the arrows to go down to it and select. No transition, just push on to arrival, and it is Aalborg. You just enter it like this, and it would enter it. Then we are going to select a runway, and we're going to land at runway 26 right, selecting it. And there is no star and no approach transition, so if you go in here, you can see it tells you that nothing is available. So that's basically what it is. Then we're selecting the approach, and in here it gets tricky, because BOR, DME, BOR, DME, ILS, which one to choose. And to be fair, I actually understand people that feel this is a bit complex to find out what actually is this because the VR, DME, VR, DME, it is basically, if we go here and close our chart for Copenhagen, and here we have the procedure for Aalborg, and we actually has ILS or log, as you can see, 1 and 2. But what you can't see right now is actually if you open it up, because let's close it down here. It seems you have those abilities here. The RNAV, if we go back, so you can see stars, there are no star. Select approach transition, you can't do that. So when you want to select an approach, it seems like the aircraft is not capable of doing the RNAV approach. But then of course we open the ILS, and I guess it would be for the category C and D, but in basic you may not know. You could try to open the other one to see, because in theory there isn't much of a difference, as you can see, other than here the radius here is a bit bigger.
Copenhagen traffic, Scandinavian 1-4 fleet still pushing back Alpha 9.
So in theory we have the procedures. We can just type the ILS, then we are on the safe side, because then we know it would be the main ILS procedure. But to be fair, if you choose the D26R, I would guess it would be the DME and the L4 localizer approach. As there isn't much difference when you look at it. So we're just gonna do the ILS, so we're selecting that one, and then we can proceed on to the route. We can say we are going to Airways, and then it asks us where to go, and we know that it is Lapma. So Lapma via and right now I see an issue here. Let's say route edit. It is a bit funny because the aircraft actually behaves a bit different from time to time, it seems. Not sure if it's actually because I wanted to go into the modification of the approach and such, that it might confuse it a bit, because I actually have pre-planned this right before this recording, so it should be there, and why I actually am a bit confused right now, because right now it is the Tango 506 that we should use, and not this L621. Not sure what is up here, so in that case, let's go to init page, initialize, FMS, execute, select. See, it remembers this. Let's go back and say sit edit. You can see it actually seems to store it. Anyways, I actually guess I know one way to actually get this done. Or what?
Coupling traffic
What?
Scandinavian 140 instead of taxi to runway 22
Pilot.
right via Mike
Flight plan.
Zulu Alpha request 37.
Why? Now I start to get confused here, because it seems that it is. Let's just. What? This makes no sense. Let's see if we do that. Close that one. And here comes the headache. Because no matter what I do in the FMS, I should at least be able to clear it out. So that's actually not a good sign here. That's not good. There we go. And cruise altitude 1220, and we're setting it down here because it is our final cruise altitude. Anyways, departure, and still Copenhagen, and it is runway 2 to right, selecting it, and going to the arrival, and now it looks right. Not sure why, because I actually had tried to reset it, but it seems that it wouldn't do it anyways. Now it does. Now I have an issue with the click spot, as you can see. There we go. I really don't know what is wrong with those click spots from time to time, and in general it looks like sometimes you just simply don't have control over the simulator. And now it's wrong again. What is up with this? I try to make this as honest as possible and make this aircraft behave right and show that it is a possible aircraft to get, even though I'm not sponsored in any way to do it or say so, because I actually have bought it just like anyone else, so that's actually the case. Anyways, let's see. Sometimes it helps to just recenter the viewpoint. Airways. Now it's just getting too annoying, because it has the procedure, it knows the right procedure to the airport. That is set. Now I actually has executed the route, so now we actually should be able to see it on the map, and we can. But anyways, route edit, route not route, yeah. I'm very sorry, guys. I tried to do this and I really don't.
Because of traffic, Scandinavian 1 planes that are taking off on way to right.
To right, there we go. Sit. Waypoint cleared. Yeah, okay, fine. Golf 1 Charlie. Was it this? I made a mistake. Exit. Come on. Now we have the problem again. I'm really sorry, I can't say what is wrong right now. And it is things like this that just makes the flying so annoying when this just happens. Because you can do things over and over and over and over and it just works, and then suddenly it just thinks that it would do something different. Okay, now we are on the right track here. Lapman, yes, and that is now set. Back to airways. And that's basically it. So let's go to the pre-flight page, and this is takeoff configuration set. And we got this set. We can set 280 is cruise out airspeed. And we could go to progress page. We won't see anything here right now. And here we got the flight plan in the. And now you can see it is set. Even it's just set the bucket twice. And there's something wrong there with the. And this one still doesn't work. I don't know what is up with the aircraft right now. Yeah. I really apologize, guys. But it just seems that this flight would not be. Something is confusing the FMS system for some reason. I can't really figure out what it might be, because yeah, something is wrong here. It seems fine, and now you see says route not loaded. Even it was set. Now I try once again. Yeah, I even tried to execute it. Yeah, I really can't say what is wrong right now. Because this should technically be possible. However, the aircraft does not seem to come to the same conclusion. Yeah. let's do this. Disconnecting from that sim so we don't have that to mess with, and then we are going to take the aircraft, switch over to the other version here, and see if that can clear it out. I'm really sorry guys, because this should have been a follow-up on the video from yesterday and just where things worked out, but it just seems that when you start doing things that is something you can do in real aircraft, and I know that for sure, but when we come here to the add-ons, they just I don't know what's screwing it up, but something really is. And that's probably why some developers was a bit after Yen at the EKCH project, when he tried to do all crazy stuff they told, but that's not crazy stuff, that's actually part of real operation of the aircraft, I would guess, because as I was mentioning in the video yesterday, a lot can happen, and we are limited in here because I can't just enter a new waypoint as quick as possible due to the fact the way that the FMS is working. Of course, I can perhaps take the default FMS, but then why then have a custom one? Even though, of course, I really like the custom stuff because it's often better than the stock one, but yeah, I better not sound too critical and such, but it is a bit difficult when you spend hours after hours just trying to make one single video that just does what you would expect. So we try on a clean one. 12,000 feet, that's what we're going to set. So now it's really speeding up, hopefully. That's already 23 minutes soon. Okay, there we go. Copenhagen, and it's runway to right, select, and transition. Golka. One Charlie, select, and historic, accept. Here we are going to say our destination. There we go. Yips, and it is going to be runway 6 right, select, and selecting approach, GIS, select, and it is now active. Route, we are going to this one, to Lapma, select, and it's Lapma, select. Okay, that worked this time. I noticed last time it actually was going back, like it wasn't recognizing it, and that's what I mean. Try to do some of the steps, but suddenly it has an odd behavior. Even though I may have missed a button, and I know I did, probably could have done, but again, it should not mess the whole system up like it's doing. I can't enter stuff by if there was just one unexpected press on a button. Anyways, execute. There we go. Copenhagen, Obat, FAO, and now it looks more as we would expect it. Okay, so now we have set the flight here. So that was actually pretty quick here in this second run. So That's good. Let's fire up the engines and get the aircraft on. So we can start our main flight here. And I forgot this one, of course. Of course, if we get some APU power, of course. I totally forgot that. I really apologize. That was happening when things don't go as planned, and you are on a tight schedule and have spent over an hour recording already. The departure just look a bit odd here. Let's hope that it would improve when we get aboard for the better. And FMS, so we don't gonna do that odd turn there. Anyways, try to stay positive. Stay positive. And should be available. And here we go. Engine 2 is starting. And I probably have forgot something. Nope. That's good. Here we go. Starting engine number 1. And we have ignition. There we go. Just gonna get that out. Oops. Oops. There we go. Armed. That's on. Switch on. Get some air conditioning running here. And we should as well get down here. Get that up. And we will be selecting 12,000 feet. That's cruise altitude. And we're also going to set that for the autopilot to sort of, there we go. Okay. And then we are just slowly going to taxi here. I know I'm speeding things up more than good is, but hopefully it goes with setting the flaps. Whoops. There comes the little baggage guard there. Get it lagging somehow. I'm not really sure why. Could try to close those down so it's not the browser. This back can eat up some memory that you don't want to. Also that we have been messing so much around with. Oh no, now I know why. It's because we was online and we had traffic available, and traffic is not generated right now, but it's probably when we get closer to the destination, it would pop up. And that's perhaps what's going on in the background and using some resources right now. Anyways, what we also would do here is I would open up my autopilot project here, because I would use that instead of the stock autopilot. Just so you know. Yeah. And here for the takeoff, I guess we would actually, this time I tried to press the cruise button instead, because it always seems like the aircraft accelerating so quickly, so I try to limit our throttle here, so probably would be easier to control the airspeed, even though I have experienced that the aircraft had troubles with both maintaining airspeed as well as the pitch was going up and down. And I guess it's something with the default autopilot values that is triggered a bad way. It's always like something is doing something coatings underneath. But anyways, here we are. Switching on flight to the one. And let's take her for a spin. Here we go. Now we have a more slow and nice acceleration as well.
You might want to rotate.
Rotating.
Me too.
It seems more reasonable now. You would know from the previous video the airspeed just was running from us right after takeoff. Maybe now more comfortable and easy to control. That's chart. Not sure at this point here. Let's see. Pirates out and actually get to the waypoint here. And now next week the second leg. Autopilot and that mode. Let's see what it does then. Yeah, that was what I was thinking. That's not what ERJ 2, so we're just gonna select this and select direct 2. Direct is executed. What this FA slash LL normally is, that would be an point at this altitude you would start the turn. As far as I remember from the charge, it is 1500 or above at that particular point. It is very used from below. I know there are 2 fixed points or such where you should be at given altitudes, but for some reason the aircraft doesn't seem to like it. But anyways, we can work our way through it. Anyways, but it is sometimes something like that that just makes it a bit annoying. That we all the time have to make so many corrections and modifications, as we have seen in the beginning of the video. Just see the first was 3 minutes, so now it only took 10 minutes to actually get it all up and running. And that's also why I normally don't do the programming of the EFMS and all that stuff, because it is straightforward, but how the aircraft data that the aircraft is receiving and how they are processed is a different story. But I have to admit that no matter how much I really want to be friends with the aircraft, sometimes you just feel you try so hard, but it doesn't work out. you will know that from the past that we actually was flying the A320. For so long I was flying Aerosoft, Airbus and such. There was always something nagging. And then the two is A390 came. That's the Airbus that I actually have been most comfortable about flying. As normally it actually works very well and has some of the features that some other aircraft add-ons does not include. So even though it also has its flaws, but that's basically more or less how it is, I guess. Okay, and we are reaching the top of line here, so we're just going to set the cruise power. Normally when you are in a procedure like this, you have a speed restriction of 220 or something. I can't remember if it is actually stated at the chart. According to the FS here, I can't see any issues as such. Let's go to the progress page here because nope. Let's just go back here to the front page and say that we want to edit something. I was talking a bit about it yesterday, that you could edit the values here. You could say that 290, that speed, and do it this way, then update it, and then it will update it for that. Was it because it was too close, perhaps? Let's try to do it this way. Clock speed that it can't be higher than 270. Can't say. Okay. Anyways, I just don't gonna mess with it. And anyways, we can do it this way. Anyways, let's just say direct. That clears it all out. I'm sorry, I really try to give useful tips here. I really try. But it just seems that it doesn't work out the way as it is intended. So I probably just don't do that. And now you see some of the traffic I was mentioning. Not sure why we can't see them on the map, because you actually have the readings here. Yeah. And that's why I say sometimes it's a bit confusing how things are working. Because right now the map doesn't show the aircraft as it's supposed to, but the aircraft actually on the map displays the aircraft. And if there is something I know for sure, then I can say it's not because of a faulty installation or anything like that. I actually remember it from the FSX with the GPS that actually has some hiccups. Sometimes the display for the GPS freezes and such. And that's why I actually wanted some different avionics than the stock GPS, because sometimes it was just looking at that map and then couldn't understand why. It seems like you're not moving on the map, and then you could just zoom in or out and then you could actually update. So yeah, not sure what is causing it, but so it is, as I say, it's not just one little thing that gets people annoyed. There's actually all those small bites here and there. And why you sometimes can feel when you are flying, why am I doing this, in fact? Because often you spend more time not chasing than actually enjoying flying. That's at least my experience. That we are chasing bugs or problems, issues, whatever it might be, whenever it's the add-on, it's the simulator, or what it might be. And that's also why I don't understand developers that just say, well, it was so nice when Prepared came and all that stuff, because then they had continuous updates. Well, that's right, but the negative side, and we know that from Explain as well, that developers make changes, and can't remember, was it Felice or such, that actually made some changes to his aircraft, and then as a given thing didn't work, and he reprogrammed it all, and after some time, well, it was reverted back, so all his work would have to be reverted once again. That's why I say that it is a lot easier to make an aircraft for FFX, because it is dead. So what you get at release date is the same if I fire up the simulator in 2 years. And that's easier to develop for, because you shouldn't fear that tomorrow a new update ruins it all. And from my perspective, that would be a golden key here. You know, my autopilot project, I'm happy that it works, and I can say that it probably won't work for as long as it could. It's just a matter of when they actually are changing some codes and makes it so it doesn't work. And we already seen that, because some of the stock aircrafts, Explain 11 does not work with my project as they would do in Explain 10. But of course those aircraft did not exist, and it is some new codes, and that's basically some of the main issue problem, say it how you want, that's for the FMS and the autopilot, I should say the autopilot most part. They made those changes, and it just they want to simulate different aircraft. In reality, they are operating all works differently, and they are doing custom codes for that. So, in fact, it's not just custom codes that would work. So you can't just do one thing that would work in the aircraft. Some of the things, like the flight deck, and of course some easy buttons might work, any of them. And still, it's not always that big. So it gets a bit complex. Let's see here, because I want to make a fix here, and we're gonna say tango, and we want to make a 50 miles circle. There we go. And you have my trusty little type of descent point. More or less, it's just a guide to see how close we are to the destination. But that's the way I do it, and it works pretty okay. But the map still doesn't represent the aircraft that I actually have on my radar here. Anyways. So yeah, I don't want to sound like a old goody, but that's just how it is. At some point, I'm looking forward to Microsoft Flight Simulator, but I'm still a bit, how would the pricing be, and would it be subscription and such? And I would say I am against the subscription, because it can go up and down the income and such, but one positive side I could see for it would be if they would continue develop stuff. Also because of the multiplayer platform. So if it could be done correctly, perhaps VATSIM or such would actually be able to do some stuff with them, so they actually had the client set up directly. And if that was possible, aircraft types could be added, as because instead of we go out and purchase add-on aircraft, well, via the subscription, it could perhaps be included over time, because then we are more people to pay the price for the development, and then we actually could get more aircrafts, all of us. Because you could also say, well, then if you just want the aircraft, you could pay for them. Well, yeah, you could do that with a business model like we are doing today, but the downside about that is just that I think it would be better for everyone that we all pay a bit and then get some new aircraft from could be well-known developers anyways, and that they support them, because a larger volume, even though they are paying, I don't know, but it can give more value for money, both for the developers and for the listeners, because there are more people to actually pay the bills for the main development. But of course, it is a balance, because it gets too expensive. People is simulator. So it is a balance, but I often feel that we see some add-ons, and they are having such a high price tag, and then they are nearly saying, well, it's just for the few. Yeah, it can be it's just for the few, but why should it be that way? Why should let's say 500 people pay a high price, when you actually perhaps could have 20,000 people paying a low price, the total income would actually be higher than those few people. That's just how I see it as a business model. As well as if they was implementing Navigraph or something like that as a part of it, then all would have the latest. Then we could fly online and all be at the same level. That would make online flying a lot easier also for air traffic controllers, but not only that, you would be able to go out on the web finding the charts, and you are in sync if you're finding the latest charts. So I guess it would be a win-win if we actually had that data and the weather and such, because then it is in a whole package, you can say. Because that's often something that I'm thinking about, that the hobby is expensive. Both you need to keep up with the hardware, but you also have to have a joystick and whatever equipment you need to actually get the full out of it. And I have to admit that I am missing some of my hardware, but I also have to keep updating the system, and I have to keep choosing add-ons and all that stuff. And it actually gets quite expensive. If I go back through the records of what I actually have purchased over the years, well, I won't say that I would be rich today, but I actually would have a lot of money with all the stuff when you start summing up for what you actually have invested in. And especially if you look at the Lockheed Martin and all that stuff, I have seen those that said, well, we have bought all the versions or nearly all the versions at $200. Just say that $200 per simulator, and then you have all the add-ons. That would actually be quite pricey over the years. So that's something to take into account as well. Okay, let's start our descent here into Aalborg Airport. And yes, I know I'm talking too much. Or at least because I have strong emotions about this subject. But again, then I also know there would be those, why should I pay for this if I don't want the extra aircraft and all that stuff. That's right. But then at least let's then have the nav data and such. I guess that would be a good step forward, actually, to have the latest nav data, weather and such. And then you can use perhaps the networks like VATSIM and IBAO and such, and make the community that way as well. Because, as I was mentioning before, all would have the same information, so we have, for the first time, we would actually have the same reference point. Instead of right now, we are flying online, and we have given different add-ons, we have different inputs, so I can sit and say to the traffic, well, I'm flying to this and this waypoint, and then someone is sitting with the with the current charts and say, well, where's that? That's not on my chart. just to give an example, of course. I know it might not be the best, but it is for the demonstration purpose only, of course. And that is the reason why I do this. Okay, we are coming to our destination here. We got the lighting on, and I of course forgot the zero lights. I know that. And switching off the EPU. So things are just as they normally is. And yes, I know I am also quite self-critical here, and I'm sometimes destroying the experience here. Okay, and we are getting closer to the destination now. We are keeping in constant speed right now. It is a bit high, but we try to speed this process up as we are into 1 hour's recording. Go. Slowing down now. The speed brakes now to slow us down here while we approach. Also to get our descent rate here. Nice. Here we go. Gonna switch to course 1 here, and what we can do is we can take this and say tune in, there we go, and then we can press the approach button, here we go, and the aircraft actually intercept the ILS here, so everything is just fine now, and we will decelerate to 180 knots, but we must not get too low yet, because we have to keep a constant speed until 6 nautical miles from touchdown in order to keep the flow of the airport. But let's get down the landing gears so we have that nice ability to slow us down as possible. Go. Gonna set down the airspeed now, so we are ready for the approach here. Go. Got 45 sets on final approach. Set. And you can see that the localizer and the equalizer it has captured the localizer like here.
1,000.
1,000. And one thing to mention here is that we are going to stop the recording here right after landing, so we're not going to taxi to terminal as such, and it's basically because I am behind schedule here, so I have to shorten things. I hope that the video was informative and you
500.
got something out of it. Perhaps seeing some of the headaches I experienced, but also to try prop chasing issues and reloading the aircraft to actually solve the whole problem. Even it shouldn't be required to do that. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna switch on the autopilot here, and then we're just gonna manually land the aircraft
100.
here. Let's bleed out some more speed here, so we have
50.
a better touchdown here.
10.
10. Suddenly a bit there, and the spoilers is up. But thrust filters is engaged. And here comes 60 knots. I'm getting braking here. And we can take our way off the runway right here. And that would be the flight here to Aalborg Airport. I hope that you liked it anyways. It was all for now. Thank you for watching and hope to see you again soon in one of my other videos. Bye bye.